Assalamu alaikum, beautiful people. Today we will move with important biological information. Why blood pressure is called the silent killer? High blood pressure is often called the silent killer because it typically has no symptoms until after it has done significant damage to the heart and arteries. Okay, define hormone, a regulatory substance produced in organism and transported in tissue fluids such as blood or sap to stimulate specific cells or tissues into action. Why children of the poor people are more immunized as compared to children of rich people? Because कंटेमिनेटेड फूड ईट करते हैं वो, ठीक है, जो कि वैक्सीन की तरह एक्ट करती हैं. पीएच ऑफ ब्लड इज 7.35 to 7.45. Proteins can only be made if ribosomes are present. In ribosomes themselves contain portions of proteins. Where from these ribosomal proteins come until the first ribosome was not made? Answer is still unknown. If you know the answer, then provide me in the comment box. Which vitamin is synthesized in body due to the intestinal bacteria? Vitamin K. Escherichia coli is the bacteria. Escherichia was name of scientist, and coil is derived from the colon, which is the part of intestine. In bacteria there is no mitochondria present, then how it generates energy? Bacteria can produce ATP either aerobically or anaerobically. Aerobic bacteria, in the absence of oxygen, produces ATP by breaking down nutrients into simple metabolites and using the energy released from the process to form ATP from ADP. Why cancer cells are immortal? Cancer cells are immortal because they produce telomerase. In the human body, only two kinds of body cells are immortal, able to divide without limit. Cancer cells are one. The other kind of immortal cells in the embryonic stem cells. The cancer cells contain telomerase enzyme which prevent the chromosome from shortening after every cell division. Lysosome contain lipases and proteases enzymes, but why it didn't digest its own membrane? Because it is also formed of lipids and proteins. The enzymes are activated by change in pH, do not work in normal conditions. Proteins in lysosomal cells membranes have an abnormal amount of sugar molecules stuck to them. These molecules keep the acid hydrolases from chopping up the proteins. However, this wouldn't last forever. The lysosomes also have glycosidases. It is so the sugar would eventually be digested. This doesn't really affect the cell very much because the optimal pH for the acid hydrolases is about 4.8. Normal cytosol pH is around 7.2. So the enzymes do not function very well in the cytosol. The lysosomal maintains that 4.8 pH by pumping in proton using ATP and blocking transport of chlorides. Next is during inflammatory responses, why neutrophils first migrate to the infected site? Because they are chemotaxis type of white blood cells attract due to chemicals. They are the most abundant and highly mobilized. The debris from dead cells attaches to receptors of nearby cells. Nearby cells produce signals to increase blood flow and attract white blood cells. Increased blood flow brings more and more white blood cells. White blood cells attach to the receptors on cells near the infected site. Next is current is due to the motion of free electrons. But why in electron transport chain current is not produced? It is that current that drives the creation of ATP. What are the characteristics of animals? The main characteristics of animals are they are eukaryotic cell movement, multicellularity, heterotrophy, and reproduction is sexual. Next is ATP molecule produced in which phase? Glycolysis, Krebs cycle, electron transport chain, or none of these. It is produced in electron transport chain. Which organelle is called kitchen of the cell? The chloroplast is responsible to carry out the process of photosynthesis and form glucose, which serves as food for the plant. In case of animals, there is no such chloroplast present in the cell. The cells have cell organelle known as the mitochondria. Okay. ऑक्सीजन के बगैर लाइफ इम्पॉसिबल है पर सम बैक्टीरिया हैं जो कि ऑक्सीजन के बगैर भी जिंदा रहते हैं. ये कहाँ पॉसिबल है? इन केस ऑफ एनारोबिक रेस्पिरेशन. व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन एंटीसेप्टिक एंड एंटीबायोटिक? एंटीसेप्टिक तमाम माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिज्म के लिए यूज करते हैं जबकि एंटीबायोटिक्स ओनली फॉर बैक्टीरिया. What is the difference between mitosis and binary fission? Mitosis is the process by which eukaryotic cells reproduce, and the binary fission takes place in prokaryotes. Eukaryotic cells are more complex than prokaryotic cells. They have multiple chromosomes, whereas prokaryotic cells have only a single chromosome. Both type of cell undergo cellular division, mitosis, spindle fibers फॉर्मेशन होती है और बाइनरी में नहीं होती. माइटोसिस में जो सेल की 4 फेजेस हैं प्रोमेटा टीलो एनाफेज ही, लेकिन बाइनिफिशन में ये फेजेस एब्सेंट होते हैं. होप यू एंजॉयड द वीडियो. स्टे मोटिवेटेड. गॉड ब्लेस यू. अल्लाह हाफिज.